Good morning, everybody. We alive, yet another day above soil. We're still on the road to 100 subscribers. If you want to be on that adventure with me, hit that subscribe button right down below. I'm also going to include the links to my Etsy and Instagram. I'm going to challenge y'all. And in my 31 years of life, I've never gotten somebody to give me a good, solid answer to this specific question. Has anyone ever been to a place where there was absolutely no conflict? I mean, when you go to this place, you don't have to worry about or stress about anything. It's no haters. There's nobody shooting nobody. There's no violence. There's no conflict whatsoever. Have you ever been to a place like that? If you have, feel free to drop a comment. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Quite frankly, there might be some people who are having mental health issues because they're trying to find their passion. They're trying to find something that motivates them so that when they find that source of motivation, they can go forward. Well, I happen to have some sort of a glimpse into how you could remedy this situation. And I'll give you 3 examples. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King, he encountered a lot of racial inequalities. Him and his family members and many other people he was surrounded by. He was stuck in a rut. He was treated like he was not a human being because of how he looked. That was one of his motivations, and that's how he got things rolling. He was motivated to make the world a better place when it came to racial equality. Martin Luther King. Back when I was a residence hall director for SUNY Oneonta, there was an RA I supervised. He became an RA and he was there for 2 years, but he went to college for something very specific. So he decided that he wanted to study biology. He wanted to study biology because later on in the road, he wanted to be an oncologist. Many of the people within his family have sadly passed away from cancer. And rightfully so, he wanted to study the science of cancer so that he could help his family and many others who fell victim to cancer. That's his motivation. And if this individual just so happens to watch this video, I want to tell you hello. It's been millennia since I've heard from you. I didn't want to mention your name because I didn't know where the boundary was, but if you want me to mention your name in future, feel free, because I'm very, 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 very proud of you, just letting you know. Wangari Maathai. People have cut down many, 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 many trees in Africa and Kenya. And she was motivated to start the Green Belt movement. Very similar to the reason for why LDX exists. Wangari started the Green Belt movement. She wanted to make the world a greener place. That was her motivation. And you notice with all 3 of these individuals that I've mentioned, they all went through some sort of conflict. My word of advice to y'all, instead of letting conflict infect your mind, make you go crazy, use it as fuel to let your inspiration go places. Let it boost your motivation. When you see a spot of conflict, when you see something that you want to improve it. Don't just let it sit there. Do something about it. And how does this reflect with my art? Simply put, the conflict is pollution. The world is way too polluted and it needs to be cleaned up. So my solution, my drive, is to make beautiful pieces of artwork and make it reflect how the earth should look. Let's take it a step even further. Just recently, I've created this piece of artwork right here. You got a groundhog eating a turnip. And then, right when the YouTube channel took off with some of my first videos, you've got a rabbit eating carrots. See, these pieces of artwork are cool and all. They tell a story about how animals interact with plants, how nature interacts with other things. That's cool and all. But with these two examples of artwork, there's not really any conflict. Even when I did Bees in a Tree, I mean, it told a story about where bees lived. There wasn't really any conflict with it. It's a deal. I ain't gonna stop making art. I've just begun. My next project's gonna be pretty big. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna take some time for me to prepare. It's gonna be based off of the principle of conflict. Much like the everyday stresses that us as humans go through, animals go through the same thing. They go through conflict. Specifically when it's the predator versus the prey. Just a heads up, quite a couple of the videos that I'm about to put up for y'all in the next couple of weeks, they're going to be pre-recorded and then scheduled. Very similar to how this one is pre-recorded and scheduled. So, like I said, this next project is going to take some time. I'm going to need to get myself some cardboard, some newspaper, and I'm also going to need to restock on paint. And that even means that dark umber. I'm going to need some of that dark umber and mix some of that up too. There are a lot of things within our society that discriminate. Death, however, does not discriminate. Until next time, I see y'all later. I'm out.